Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's why. All right.
Yeah, I gotta keep people on their toes.
Yeah, but your video is not on actually. So
Uh,
yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, now it's on.
Uh, Everyone can see the wonderful Starbucks I'm sitting in.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, we're live, everyone. Yo, this is week 10. How exciting. So I want to start off this week with a moment of silence for last week's bag. So everyone, please take 30 seconds to a minute, and we're just gonna have a small funeral procession for last week's bag because we kind of got wrecked. All right, that's enough. That's enough. We don't want to dwell on the past. I do want to do a quick recap. So last week we took some positions that we ended up closing them in a loss. And the main reason I think was because we ended up entering into coins that had been too heavily bundled. And so one thing we'll do in today's session is we'll just go through a bubble maps and we'll show how you can use bubble maps to determine if a coin's bundled like that. Because a lot of these coins that are launching right now, their team is having like 50 or 70% of the holdings. And so that gives them like complete control and they can just dump on you whenever you want. With that being said, we have a guest this week. Shout out to Hackerman Ace. He's a really awesome trader and he's going to walk us through a little bit about his strategy for DLMing and for trading. Hacker, do you want to do a quick introduction?
Yeah, man. Hey, thank you very much for having me. I've been joining these LP armies on and off here and there, and I absolutely love them. I think they're super useful. Yeah, I mean, I've been DLMMing like for a few months now, and I absolutely love it. It's been something that's super useful. Has kind of changed my strategy on Solana, on like how I approach meme coins, how I kind of trade things. So I absolutely love it. I've been in crypto since about 2016, so. It's been some interesting changes. I would say this year is probably my most favorite year just because I've been on the grind for Meteora. So that's probably the main reason. But yeah, I would love to kind of get into it.
Awesome. Yusuf, you want to do your intro real quick?
Sure. Hello everyone. My name is Yusuf. I've been here for a couple times now. Uh every Monday for the LP Jam sessions. So yeah, I'm 19 years old. I work with Photon and I also work with the Meteora community along with Hayden, who's the host today, and all the other moderators in the Discord, which you guys probably know. So yeah, that's me.
And I'm just me. I like changing my name around because that's fun. But I wanted to say like how grateful I am to be able to be hosting this event. It's like such an awesome opportunity where we all get to come together. We get opportunities to interview awesome guests like Hackerman. We get essentially funded to trade for free, and we can learn and improve each other's skills. Like with how crazy PvP the crypto market is, it's really nice to have a safe haven where people can come and you can discuss and make mistakes or make positive decisions. You can learn and ultimately, I mean, so far we're like 4 out of 5 where we've had winners. So in most cases, you're able to like add to your bag just by showing up and engaging. A quick reminder for everyone, we're not doing an automatic distribution just for showing up. So the way that you earn a profit distribution is through active engagement during chat, during the session, or also via engagement in the Meteora Twitter community. So when we finish our live stream today, we're going to do a write-up of all the positions we've entered. And then your goal is to go there and debate and discuss why our ideas are good or bad. And so do your best. If you're not an experienced DLMer, take this as an opportunity to test out ideas and hypotheses. And then the audience and chat can debate and discuss. And if you are an experienced DLMer, go there and share your feedback. Go give some tips to the people who are present, or also just like take a moment and discuss why you think our ideas are good or bad. The goal here is to incentivize active engagement. The whole purpose of this event is to improve the alpha and the overall like education of our community while also expanding the reach of Meteora. So that's why we're shifting up our distribution strategy. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So we've taken a look at the markets. And yeah, I think what I'd love to do is, Ackerman, do you want to take a few minutes and just like walk us through what you think the overall market conditions are? And Yusuf, please chip in as well, because I know you have some like alpha here as well. And then we can start opening our positions.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've kind of just been going sideways with Solana, so we're kind of still in range. And with us being at the range low, I'm just kind of seeing here, what are we going to do? Are we going to bounce here, or what's going to happen? So my stance, I mean, in general, with the crypto market has been bullish, especially every time we get to the range low. So I'm kind of just watching things on Solana. I'm a big believer in like the sensitivity in the markets. Like whenever Solana is at the bottom and is bouncing, which coin is showing strength, when Solana is dumping, which coins are excessively going down. So those are kind of like the things that I'm looking for. And that's what I did like last month at some point. So we're kind of getting to the same point again on Solana, where I'm trying to see if we're going to get this bounce that we want, and if a lot of my altcoin plays are going to go ahead and follow through. So just trying to cut out the weaklings and kind of just stick to the ones that have stronger reactions.
Awesome. Yusuf, what do you think about the markets?
Okay, so if you guys don't know, there's actually an event coming up within the Solana ecosystem called Solana Breakpoint. It's coming up in around 1.5 weeks from now. And actually, if we look at past breakpoints or just past Solana past big Solana events, right? Usually around those times, Solana has gone up in price, and not just Solana, but most of the coins within the Solana ecosystem, right? And that has actually led me into believing that we might see Solana pump. We might see history play out or repeat itself this coming week, or these coming 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm overall bullish at the moment.
Cool. Yusuf and Hackerman, can you guys DM me on Discord the positions we want to open? So I'm going to kind of do those discreetly. And then what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen and do a walkthrough of how you can use bubble maps and other tools to see if tokens are super bundled. Because that's like something that everyone needs to know. I know we've done this in the past before, but I want to kind of highlight it. Maybe this is kind of like refreshing my own memory so that like I don't like participate in rugs, but also like wanting to make sure that like this is something that everyone knows how to do. So what's a good example? What seems like an obvious rug? Chat, go ahead and drop a comment below if you think you can choose one that looks like an obvious rug. So this Chichon, 2 million in an hour, maybe rug, maybe not, but we'll take a look. So I need one that's a pump fun. So I actually found a really cool the other day. I'm not like sponsored by them or anything, and it's a free tool, so I feel comfortable sharing it. But it's an awesome tool that allows you to see if a coin's been bundled on Pump Fun. Maybe Chinese Pepe is a pump token. This obviously, look at this. So anytime you see this like this huge green bar at the end, like the start of a chart, this usually signifies that insiders have bought the token a bunch and pumped it. Let's keep looking. Where are all the pump fund tokens? I need to just go on Photon and find one.
Yeah, you can filter for photon tokens. I mean, pump fund tokens on photon. If you like want to find a photon,
Yeah.
or pump fund token, I mean.
Another thing that's like really important. So for me, like in the last week, because of how low the market was, I kind of just like took the week off, and it's kind of nice. I know that a lot of people here are like trying to actively trade and trying to like post gains all the time, but sometimes not trading is like the right decision. And honestly, that's probably what we should have done last week, is we should have not traded. Um, not to say that we made like bad decisions, but honestly, sometimes like abstaining from trading is a better decision than like trying to force gains. And it's also like imperative to having like good mental health. If you're like crushing like crypto Twitter for days at a time, then you're probably gonna have like mental health issues. You
You
said,
you can filter
uh,
under Texas, yeah. Just do a pump on, yeah.
all right.
Take a look at the first one, yeah. Just take that one.
So sometimes with newer coins like this, they don't have a bubble maps yet, but I do have this wonderful tool. Let me see if I can share my Telegram. Again, I'm not sponsored by this, and it's a free tool. It's called Cyrax Token Scanner. We'll try and link it in the chat or something like that. But yeah, let's take a look. So this one actually seems like it's somewhat legitimate. So it shows us what the dev has done. The dev's already sold their token. 17 buys are holding 13% of the curve. So this kind of looks like a normal distribution, and it's something that you could potentially buy. Not saying that you should, that's your own decision, but it doesn't look egregiously botted or bundled. Let's try another one. This one also looks organic. Gosh, I'm trying to find a good example of something that is obviously bundled. Like I was finding them like time after time when I was actually trying to trade. It's not showing. It's hilarious. Literally, I feel like over the last week, like 90% of tokens have been like soft rugs like this where they get bundled. All right, I'm gonna try one more and then admit defeat in my attempt to show you all. But either way, this is a nice tool. It shows up for pump fund tokens and I think also moonshot tokens. Oh my gosh. Well, so what you're looking for here is like if a token has been bundled, then you can see here it'll show the amount of people that have purchased, the number of wallets, but most importantly, it'll show the number of purchases or the percent of the total curve that's owned by individuals who are buying at the same time. And so most like bundle transactions will occur right at the same time via separate wallets. And so this will allow you to get a bit more information, and you should be able to get an idea if something has been bundled or not. So that's our little like alpha drop. Yeah, and so let's go ahead and get into it. So our first position for today is going to be on Giga. Hacker Man, do you want to take a second and walk us through your thesis for how to LP Giga?
Yeah, let me take a look at Giga real quick. I think I just CM'd you about Giga.
Go ahead and pull up a chart if you don't mind and share your screen.
I'll take a look.
And for everyone who's watching, I already bought our bag, so don't try and stream snipe us this time. We're on top of it this time.
All right.
Or go ahead and stream snipe us and pump our own bags. That would be sweet.
Okay, so kind of like expanding on like something we had discussed earlier about like looking at the liquidity of things. That's kind of like the first thing that I would look at for Giga would be is kind of going on Meteora, opening up the pools and kind of taking a look at what kind of pools are currently existing on Giga. Are those fees high enough to where it's going to be worth it? Because I typically don't try to get it into any kind of pools that have sub 1% fees because it typically doesn't end up being worth it. So it's normally 1% or higher. So looking at this one, they do have a
After,
1%.
can you share your screen?
Yeah. Yeah, I can share. 1 second. Give me just a second. It wants me to update my Zoom on my PC.
Okay.
So chat, I'm gonna have you all go off on a quest and see if you can't find any other meme coin pools that are paying 3 to 10% on the daily. So right now we're seeing like pretty low volume, and because of that, we're seeing low fee generation. But that doesn't mean that there's no opportunities to earn gains. So take some time and go out into the ether space and see if you can't find some good meme pools that we can trade.
Just bear with me. It's still it's still updating.
Take your time. Take your time. So one thing that I really want to kind of like see if I can't squeeze some alpha out of you after is like how to like read LPs, because I know I've been looking on Twitter and I see people pull up charts, and they'll show essentially like a chart where it shows with usually they have like a color like denomination that shows where people are putting their bids and their asks. And so we can kind of do the same thing, and we can look at where people are posting liquidity, and that will tell us like what people's thoughts are on the market conditions. But also like we can, if we play things properly, we can find areas where there's low liquidity and we can increase our own fee generation. For
Okay.
instance,
So
go ahead,
so
Yusuf.
there are two people in the chat. One is asking for us to check out Billy. The other one is asking for us to check out Pox. I
Billy.
just wanted to ask both of you guys if you'd like to try and present your thesis on any of those coins, because that is also one of the reasons on why we've changed the way we reward participants during the LP jam sessions, right? We want people to contribute. So if you think that it might be smart to make a play on a certain coin, you're more than welcome to become a panelist and essentially present your thesis, and then we'll discuss the play all together and possibly make a position on it if it makes sense. So you can just message me, or just do a message in the chat, and I'll check it, and I'll tell Hayden to invite you up as a panelist.
Yeah, we will host this. We'll have a segment at the later end of the session where people can come up and they can do their little presentations. So first off, we've got a second Hackerman Ace in the attendees who's raising their hand. So, bro, who are you? Who are you trying to impersonate out of here? Get out of
That's
here with
my
that.
Oh,
no, that's my computer. She's just about to
That's your
message you.
computer.
Yeah, you can accept. That's me.
I thought we had some doubling going on right now.
Good.
Yeah, MGD, this is recorded, so you can watch it after the fact. And then also be sure to hang out in the Meteora Twitter community, because that's where we're going to kind of like post our positions after the fact. And that's where a lot of the alpha and chat is going to occur. All right, Hacker, the floor is yours. Walk us through your giga position or what you think we should do.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna actually answer what you had asked earlier, because I feel like that's
Please.
probably Alpha's at. Um, so whenever I'm looking at liquidity, there's two different ways to go about it. I think the easiest one for people to probably understand is when you're looking at liquidity, it's very easy to tell when something is launched on pump.fun or when something is launched the normal way where somebody creates their own LP pool by themselves and burns their liquidity. So whenever you see something that's launched off of pump.fun, you'll only see it on Radium. And if there isn't an existing DLMM pool open, those are one of the ways that I like to kind of start earning fees, is because I can be the first one in kind of opening up that DLMM. Or if I see new ones like that where somebody just recently opened up a DLMM, I like to go ahead and explore into kind of how their liquidity is spread apart, and where I can kind of place mine to kind of assist in on where their liquidity is placed. So let me go on my screen to Meteora over here.
You try
I'll get a Giga.
like saturate existing liquidity, or do you try and find ranges where people have yet to provide liquidity?
So I like to look for places where, let's say there's like 60K in liquidity, but they end up using like, let's say 69 bins. At that point, their liquidity is kind of spread apart a lot of bins. But when you look at the price action, it's within a certain range. And it's very unlikely that it's going to drop 20, 30% to hit those lower numbers. So
Sure.
what I like to do is to kind of come in and place my liquidity in a tighter range so I don't have to worry about the lower price action. We can all get larger order flow within that certain area, and then
Yep.
I can just get out as I need to, and I don't have to kind of stick in there for too long.
Yeah, I actually really like that. I think like the next level of DLMMing is being really strategic with where you place your bin and your liquidity essentially.
I agree. It's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, like see over here, like there's like a bunch of liquidity at these places, but let's say worst case scenario, Solana dumps out and it ends up coming down to about over here. There's significantly less liquidity over here, and there's times where this happens late at night, or this happens at times where whoever's up here does not rebalance, or they kind of just leave their liquidity. So there's pockets over here where there's less liquidity, and that's where I like to kind of pop in my stuff in because I know I can capture flow, especially if I go to the chart and I notice, oh, this stuff is still within range and it's kind of still doing all that stuff. If I know that's happening, it just kind of makes sense to kind of do it, toss in my liquidity for that certain point. And then it works the same way to the upside. That's kind of talking more to bit side. But on the upside, you'll notice like pockets as well where there's less liquidity at. And that's kind of where I toss it in for the upside for targets. Or if I'm looking at the chart and I'm noticing, oh, it's kind of wicking out at like a certain level or whatever, I'll kind of set my liquidity around like a 10-15% of range around there. So that way I can capture the wicks, but I've already filled up the bid side. So I don't necessarily set up like one giant position. I'll set up two separate positions. So I'll set one single position for the bid side, and then I'll open up a brand new position for the ask side. So I normally won't combine all in one play. Most people like to spread apart their liquidity using all bins or a significant amount of bins. I rather keep it in something less than like 20. I rarely go over 30.
So essentially what you're saying is you're looking at the chart to try and see kind of like normal areas where price could move. And then you're looking at the liquidity charts and you're trying to capture those little areas where liquidity is like underrepresented. So you can increase your fee generation when it moves through those areas.
Yeah, pretty much. And then like let's say this is the support for Giga right over here. And people have their liquidity spread apart all the way down over here.
Mhm.
Even if there's support, I would be out of Giga if it ended up breaking down over here. So any of the liquidity below that doesn't matter. And if somebody ends up setting up a curve position, that means that, or I mean, a bid and ask position, their liquidity is going to be down towards a level that I'm not really interested in. So if I pack on a spot position in between here, I'm going to capture more of the order flow that's coming through just for the time being.
Nice. I like it. Well, yeah, so you want to, I already went ahead and bought a little bag of Giga. Do you want to walk us through what you do to open a position for Giga?
Yeah, let's take a look here. So I guess the first thing would be is kind of assuming like where I think Giga is going to probably go to. So it would be probably around somewhere around here.
And is that because you see that one candle that got sold off into really hard?
I just kind of see like the consolidation levels that are going on here. We kind of ranged around here, and then we kind of broke down over here and a kind of ranging. So just kind of like the POC, the point of control level that I'm seeing in general. Um, I'm used to using volume profiles, so I kind of know like by heart without even having it on where like the majority action is. So that would kind of be this. So again, I'm not always looking for like the giant thing. I think initially when I started doing DLMMs, I started putting things up like 100% up, 20, like 200% up. And then it was great in March time because everything was hitting. But now things are a little a struggle. So you can't really keep things so tight out. So I kind of keep things a little bit localized so I can collect as much volume as I can and kind of lower my drawdown risk.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I would
seems
probably
like good.
cells probably I'd start up my pool. Let me get a switch to the pool.
So especially with how like dry the market's been, DLMMing is like such a great opportunity because you can earn really great fees even in a sideways market.
Yeah, 100%. I think if I was going to set something, it would probably be. How much did you buy out of curiosity?
20 soul. So we're doing like we got 5K to allocate to it, half in giga, half in soul. Wow, this is so interesting to me because like I mean I would call myself an intermediate DLMer, but there's like so many nuances that you can learn. It's awesome having you on and kind of like dropping some knowledge to the audience and to everyone.
Yeah, I absolutely love talking about this stuff. So it's nice to be on a chat where I can like openly talk about it and not like hold back about what I'm saying. So I guess if I'm going to do the ask side, I would kind of set up my liquidity up over here. And then if I'm going to do the bid side, it would probably just go down to about, yeah, bid side, I could probably spread apart a little bit more. So if I'm going to do the bid side, it would end up being something like this. Yeah, 12 bins to the bottom. I can probably link you the numbers over here. So I would do 12 bins to the bottom over here with the support with the Solana that I have.
Mhm.
And then on the ask side, I would set up a brand new position. Oops, just messed it up. And on the ask side, I would just set up a new position starting around like 13 to about, yeah, 13 with 10 bins.
And if price moves out of your range to the top, are you closing or are you holding this for an extended period of time, hoping it kind of ranges in that area?
So I think I kind of caught the end gist of it when you guys were talking earlier. I think you said you guys were looking to hold this for like 3 days.
Yeah, what do you normally do with your DLMMs?
So, so the way I do my DLMMs are, so let's say I have a position and this is the position right over here, and I have it both ways. I sit at the screen all day long. So like I'm full-time crypto. So whenever something close to about like 75, 80%, that's kind of where I kind of look at the chart and I'm like, is it going to expand out of my range? Is it going to break down out of my range? How's the sensitivities towards Solana? How's Solana looking? And around 80 to 75% is my management point. So if I feel like it's going to break out, I'll exit my position at 80% and then just rebalance a little bit higher, assuming that it's going to go ahead and break out. So if
Yeah,
right now on Giga, I have a range like this, and it goes outside of our range, I'll know probably around like this point, around that 80% point, hey, maybe I should go ahead and reset up my range, maybe around like that level. So it's just about kind of managing it. So I kind of spend a lot of time on DLMMs. But if I
yeah.
wanted to keep it wide, yeah, I would just assume that, hey, it's not going to break out beyond this level and kind of come down, which I'm a little skeptical about Sol just now until it actually moves. So I think I'll be fine. I don't think this is going to be something that just randomly expands, especially if Solana hasn't started breaking out or anything just yet.
I love it. That's
Yeah,
freaking
that's
great.
actually pretty sick. Like there are so many factors that you're looking at, which is very interesting to hear about.
Hacker, can you please send me your price ranges in Discord and we'll go ahead and open this up.
Yeah, let me send that over.
And were you in the 80 bin step 1% pool?
For which one?
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about? Oh, for this one? Yeah, this is
Yeah.
80.
So heavy, you came back just in time.
Yeah.
I know you got to work today, but we're about to open our first position.
Oh, sweet.
Hacker, if you haven't seen Heavy, always takes a shot whenever we open an LP.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, dude. I got my drinking horn ready. Today we got some
What
coconut
timing?
rum I got in Mexico. Do it. Nothing like drinking in the morning.
So you said 12 bins, 12 bins on the bottom.
Yeah, 12 bins on the bottom, starting 2 bins below the current price.
Okay.
And then for the upside, it's from the current bins that are existing, starting after 4 bins, it's from 13,217 all the way up to 14,199.
Also 12 bins.
That one's 10 bins.
Gotcha. This is so much different than like what I normally do. So I'm so stoked to see how this works out. I'm like,
I
so
would like a little bit more on Giga. If Giga had a little bit more, I think it would probably be better, but it kind of just relies on Soul at this point. So fingers crossed on Soul.
yeah. I think Yusuf made a really good point about being like bullish because of Breakpoint coming up. So like that's gonna be like it's like the yearly like Solana hype event where all the developers talk about what's going on with the market and what's going on with their own projects. And so it's gonna have some kind of significance or influence, but we'll see how much of an impact it ends up having.
Absolutely.
So
I
that's
actually like that. I like the fundamental approach to some of this stuff because I'm more technical based and I always end up forgetting when conferences are and things like that. So I'm actually excited to just grab a bag of Solana or like a small long just to see what happens right before breakpoint.
I feel like I feel like we've been on this overly extended downtrend. And like if you look at like what's going on with like big institutional players, you can see that like people are like buying so much at these price points. So we're gonna see an uptrend eventually. It's just a matter of when. Hacker, what is this that you're looking at right now?
That is actually like my chart. So like since I started crypto, I've been using Ichimoku and that's kind of like my big thing with all of crypto. That's like my main butter. So if this enters into the cloud, that's bad news bears. And that's kind of what I'm watching on BTC right now is to make sure things don't get into the clouds because if things get into the clouds, that's just going to be bad. We've experienced it before and things kind of start breaking down. And that's just like a very simple play for most people is you can bet into the clouds, bet that it's going to go to the bottom and break down. So anybody can pretty much do that. So I haven't changed my stance until I'm not going to go bearish until this actually breaks down into it. Ethereum kind of broke down into it. So if you look at Ethereum, it kind of broke down ahead of time, but Ethereum has just kind of sucked this entire time, this run.
What chart view is this that you're using?
This is just a Solana USD chart on TradingView.
So what is the overlay in the back?
Oh, that's Ichimoku. That's my main thing that I use, Ichimoku indicator. It's one of the default indicators that are on TradingView. I actually have a pin thing on my profile on Twitter that like kind of walks through like how you use it and everything. So it's all free alpha for people if they want to learn it.
Yeah, everyone go ahead and give Hackerman a follow. I'm gonna put your Twitter profile in chat. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so the next position I want to do is I want to do a jupe soul position. I've been trying, so I have like different positions that I do. Some are high risk and some are low risk. And so I want to open a jupe soul and then I'd love to get everyone's opinion on how to like set this up based on what we're kind of like learning in this session. I think one thing that's really cool is like I have this little mini juke soul position that I've opened and it's doing like 0.5% per day in fees, which for like a lot of us when we're thinking about DLMs, that's like nothing because we're like if we have like a good trade, we're looking at like 30 or 40 or higher fee generation in 24-hour period. But if you're looking at it from like a normal investment perspective, if you're doing 50.5% per day, that's like 180% on the annual, more if you're compounding. And that's an incredible return. And so this is like on Jupe Soul, which like we can all pretty comfortably say if you like hold these coins for an extended period of time and you wait until like they pumped, you're gonna have an opportunity to close in profit. And so that's like I don't know. That's just I wanna onboard more normies and kind of like share the good DLMM gospel because not enough people understand that you can earn really good fees just with like normal yeah with like kind of like normal LPing. After I'm gonna take screen share back from you, and I'm gonna pull up the Jupe Soul, and then we'll kind of do a group discussion with how to set this up. So here we have the various bin steps that are available. I'm so hesitant to do the one bin step because that's such a tight range. Um,
I
but like
agree.
nothing else has any liquidity.
Try and scroll up. I think we could do
The 504.
yeah, we could either
Some
what?
Say that again.
the 80.15, the 80 step
Yeah,
pool
but
that has 3.7 million.
look how little it's doing, like nothing in terms of its
Yeah.
generation. Honestly, let's try it because we can open multiple positions if we want, and the goal here is to have a really tight range. So what I initially did is I pulled up the chart to see what we could expect in terms of like price fluctuation. And so, oh, it's so small, it's 0.34 on either side. You might need to open multiple positions to make that work, but
Yeah, I think you should do that. Instead,
I think we should do a bigger bin step.
we could do. Wait, like honestly, it's actually a pretty good pool. Like I'm not gonna lie. Um, I think I think we could do the pool because I'm not expecting Jupiter to go below like 1% from now on. I think it has bottomed out
Well,
like right now as we're talking.
one thing that's really relevant is that Jupe and Sol are so interconnected in terms of their pricing that we're probably not going to see a big fluctuation until because I'm personally hyper bullish on Jupe. It's like it's such a great project that we're probably going to see a really big move up. But as of recently, you can see that in terms of our ranging from like July to now, it's like really it's like plus 5% and minus 5%. And so for something this small, it's something you probably have to actively manage. Hacker, check this out. We have a really nice spot right here where liquidity is really low. Do you think we should try and jump on this little liquidity range?
Yeah, you got it. Like that's exactly what I mean. Like if for some reason the price goes up, all it is 4 bins. If it can go up, you take a significant portion of that if they don't rebalance right away.
Yeah. We might do a double position with Jupe Soul and just kind of like allocate more of our bag to conservative plays so we don't take a big L. Yusuf, do you want to try and find another pool that has a kind of like a similar liquidity opportunity and we can try a slightly larger bin range?
Okay, sure.
Oh, well, I see a deposit, so
You guys know.
cheers, mates.
Cheers.
Ah, that's good stuff. Now we're partying.
Yeah, we also have another similar range down here. Like GUI always removes the slider bar whenever I try and do anything more complex. But I'm gonna go ahead and add our bottom range down here.
I don't know
Oh,
if you guys, but there was somebody that made out like a bandit on the USDC USDT pool. They had a 5% pool open, and somehow they managed to get some order flow, and they walked away with like 1,500 or 3,000 in fees
That's
through.
crazy.
Pool.
how'd that work?
I have no.
Arbitration.
So if you haven't noticed, what we have right here is a gap in liquidity. And so I'm gonna allocate all of our soul to right here. And maybe we get lucky. I'm actually gonna expand our capital. I'm gonna put 50 here. It's kind of like a bigger trade, but it's like I'm really comfortable buying Jupe at this price point. It's minus like 2% of current price. And maybe we get really lucky and we get some volatility through here and we get some good fee generation going on. Yusuf, so if we're doing 50 soul on the bottom, that gives us like 20 or 30 more soul, or excuse me, soul that we can allocate to Jupe. Do you or
Yeah.
also Hacker, do y'all want to try and find another place where we can put some Jupe on the top range?
Yeah, okay, so we can actually do a Jupe USDC pool because they do offer more volatility
Okay.
compared to Jupe against Sol, simply because Jupe is correlated with Sol, right? Compared to USD. USD is stable, so Jupiter, like, there's no token that correlates in price action with USD. So we could do a position in Jupe USDC
Do you want to
instead
grab
of.
screen share, Yusuf, and show us what you're thinking?
Okay, yeah. Give me 1 second.
I wanna get a write-up of that dude who kind of like balled out on the USDC USDT play.
Can
That's
you guys see
crazy.
my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
It looks like they do it every 30 days. So next time we get closer to the end of the month, I'm actually going to try it myself and see if I can actually join that person and kind of capture that. That's like the best free thing.
Okay,
What is the
so
event that's occurring that's causing the price fluctuation between those?
wait, did you ask me or
No, hacker man. He's
oh,
you're saying that there's something that occurs every 30 days that causes volatility in the USDC USDT price.
Yeah, the pool that I was looking at, they had a 5% pool, and like every 28, 30 days is when somehow there's like some kind of volatility that lets them get some walk away cousin and fees off a
It's so weird.
stablecoin pool. So I'm still kind of researching it right now, but I still haven't figured it out, but I will figure it out eventually.
That's wild.
All
okay,
right, the
yeah.
floor
All
is
right.
yours,
So
Yusuf.
so um so I was suggesting a Jupe USDC pool instead of a Jupe Sol pool, due to the reason that this pool, like any token compared to, where especially Jupiter, since it is very correlated to Sol. Um, yeah, okay. So I think I can just start from the beginning. Okay, so we've actually discussed this in previous boot camps, right? About the correlation matrix. There's the correlation matrix. It's a tool that explains the correlation between certain tokens in the Solana ecosystem, right? Um, and that tool basically says that Jupiter is highly correlated with Solana. That means if Solana goes up in price, Jupiter will very likely go up in price as well. And this means that if we compare the Jupiter to Sol pools with the Jupiter to USDC pools, the Jupiter to USDC pools will simply be more volatile because Jupiter does not correlate, or its price action does not correlate to USDC because USDC is stable. Yeah, and that's why I thought that maybe we could do a USDC pool to essentially
Sure. I like it.
capture more volume and volatility. What?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
I think we could do the 20 instead 25 and fee 0.25.
I like it.
Yeah. So okay, so what ranges should we choose? I think we can take a look at the chart.
I also like the USDC sometimes just because I know, like, as a trader, like, if I'm swapping out of things and I have no interest in being in Solana, USDC is my option. And most of the time, it doesn't make sense for me to go from ticker to Solana than to USDC. So if I have something like Jupe or whatever it is and I don't want to go into Solana, USDC is going to be my first option. And if there's liquidity in there, it's obviously going to get routed through. So I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Yusuf, I sent you a message in Discord. Check that when you have a second, please.
Okay, just could you tell me if you can yeah, you shouldn't be able to see my Jupyter screen or Discord screen, I mean.
No, we see Photon, just Photon.
All right, good.
It wasn't a bad message. I was just
What?
asking you to create the Google form when you have a second.
Oh, okay, cool. Sure. All right. I'll do that after
Yeah, take your
after
time.
we
Take
talk
your time.
about Jupyter and we make a position here. Okay, cool. So yeah, now we're looking at the Jupyter 2. It's actually a Jupyter 2 against Sol pool. It's the in step 1 and 0.1 or 0.01 fee pool that we're looking at right now. It's making a lot of volume, as we can see, right? It's making 80K USDC or USD. over the past 5 minutes. So this exact pool here shows us many data points that we can rely on. All right, so I'm on the 4-hour time frame right now. And okay, if we just looking at it overall, I think it's fair to assume that we'll have a pump, right? We have like a big support area over here. And considering the fact that we have a breakpoint coming up, some bullishness on Solana, and the fact that Jupiter and Solana are highly correlated, we can assume that Jupiter will go up in price, right? The question is more so how much will it go up in price? I think a fair assumption would be, I think we could do like 2 pools maybe. Yeah.
And
So
you got that Juke vote today.
Oh yeah, that's true. We should also make a pool for that. Yeah. So
Well, I'm
when
just saying, people are voting. They may buy before the vote
yeah. So when is the Jupiter vote going to take place?
It's starting in
today.
like 15 minutes.
Someone mentioned good option Juke JLP, and I don't know what that chart looks like today. I've done that in the past, and it was a slow earner.
Yeah.
I think all of our strategies
Safe,
for this jam are not going to be crazy high, but I actually like that because it's as great as it is to earn huge gains. I think what's also like super important and imperative is understanding and knowing how to earn, like, because if you can earn 100% APR on any investment, you're gonna become a millionaire if you do it consistently over time. And so like
That's true.
with how the market is right now, like we don't have crazy high volume. And so that's like why I think this week is like a perfect week to talk about like really solid conservative, but like high value over time strategies.
Yeah. So I think we could make a position with Jupiter to the upside up until 0.9. I think that's a pretty good range, to be honest.
So essentially what you're saying is you want to sell our Jupe over time at higher
Yeah,
than what we paid for it and get paid in fees during the process.
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I think Jupiter will go up in price.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we do a double allocation because if we do a range that large, we're gonna spread our liquidity really thin. And so our fee generation won't be there, but we can hide this trade as a DLMM position.
Yeah, we could also do the 80 bins that just check it out. Like there's actually a Jupiter USDC pool with a bin step of 80, right? And
Let's do
it's
both. Let's sorry to interrupt you, but let's do one where we try and like add our liquidity to areas where there's really low liquidity, and then we can
Mhm.
do one with the wide range and try
Okay,
both
cool.
of those.
Yeah,
That's a nice
I
idea.
think that's a great comparison, little experiment.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so okay, let me just take a look at this pool. So for the wide range pool that we just spoke about, right? I think we could do the 80 bin step and
Okay.
0.15% pool, right? For a for the strategy that we're talking about now, where we want to allocate our liquidity at places where there is not much liquidity relative to how liquidity is distributed across the price range. I think we could do this pool. So yeah, wait, I'll have to remove this. Give me 1 second. Cool.
One thing, if there's any like Meteora mods watching this, it'd be really awesome if on this slider bar we could scale up and down and scroll between like the entire range of liquidity so we could try and find pockets where there's lower liquidity rather than having to manually enter price ranges.
I agree. Okay, so to be honest, if we want to do this where we allocate our liquidity at places where there's not much liquidity, I think we should do a sold USDT pool or a sold Jupe, sorry, pool instead.
Let's
Because they're more liquid, so
okay.
it's funnier, right?
So I got 50 soul worth of jupe and we'll do half in this strategy and half in your broad range.
Okay, yeah.
Do you want to sneak it all in there in that one really tight range?
Wait, I'll have to check out how it's looking.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, so I do think that we'll have to look at current price though. Let me just take a look at the chart.
Hacker, what do you think about doing a tight little range where we try and capture low liquidity areas?
On Jupe USD, C or Jupe Sol?
Jupe Sol.
Let's take a look.
Okay, so as you can see, Hayden, right? There is like over the wait, I'll have to change my time frame. I was just getting confused. Give me 1 second. So over the last 20 minutes, right? Or 10 minutes actually. Price went down from 70407 to like 69851, right? So we could try to distribute our liquidity within this price range here. The question is then whether if there's already a lot of liquidity there or not. Okay, so it doesn't look like there is. Let me just swap to Sol. Oh, yeah. This is a
I want
problem because, as
I
I
want to
said,
see a tool that will like analyze charts and show which areas have the most like volatility and the most normal price action. I think that'd be really cool.
yeah. Okay, guys. So here we have a problem, right? Since Jupiter is correlated to Sol, right? We won't see that volatility, or that big price difference, price range, or okay, I'll just show it, okay? Maybe that's easier. So as you can see, there was a like from this top here that happened like 10 minutes ago. There is a difference in price of around 0.8%. Now, if I change the chart to show Sol on the y-axis, the same difference will be way smaller. If we go 10 minutes down, you'll see that it's actually only, yeah, it's very small, right? So there hasn't, so that's one of the downsides of Jupiter, of pools where the tokens are very correlated to each other. There will simply be less volatility, so you won't be able to capture that much fees and volume compared to USDC pools. But we can still do this pool. Like I still think we can do it.
Yusuf, I
Do you,
want to share my screen real quick and add something.
Okay, cool.
do you guys notice an uptick in volatility or even volume in general whenever there are like Jupe votes or right after the unstaking periods after the Jupe votes?
I haven't, but the guys earlier were talking about how they might see or expect kind of an influx of Jew buyers, so they have like voting potential. Um, and
I
it's
don't know about
to pay
coming
attention.
out after because it's 30 days to unstake that.
So this is where I really like doing an allocation of capital. If we're just doing our jupe for a tight range, it's it's only 1%, but we have a week or so where we saw really tight trading within this range. And so that's what I would do for our tight range. What do you guys think?
I like it. I think doing the curve setup is probably the way to go and kind of like stick within your range, but maybe even extend it out 0.5% on each side.
Okay, so I think that's a good range actually. Not too bad.
We can add some extra soul underneath. And then
The
Yusuf,
thing is,
I want to
what?
have you choose our range for our larger range jupe position.
Okay.
Yeah, we may not see anything on the juke. It's a crapshoot.
This is so I've had a juke soul position open for a few days where I just did a tight range like this, and I haven't had to like change anything so far. It's just stayed in my range, and it's not great, but I'm earning like I was doing like 0.5% per day, which like I think people get so like hypey in the crypto space about doing like 10x's and stuff, but 0.5% per day is 180% APR. And that's freaking psycho for like a regular investment.
Yeah.
So this is gonna skew us a little bit towards the upside, but that's okay.
What did you say?
So I'm doing a position here with like a pretty tight range, but like a 2% fluctuation. Maybe I might actually try and a bit more of our capital into this top little bins, this top little range here. No, I'm just gonna keep it simple because I'm the one who has to manage these every time. But
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
Well,
Heavy, I need to get you to start shipping me some of that rum to manage my
ah,
nerves.
well, this one I have to go back to Mexico to get it. I've only got a little bit left.
Let me
So,
know when you book your tickets. I'll go with you.
right. So, well, what we got to do is we got to earn a whole bunch of money
Yep.
from that, and then we go on a cruise down to the Yucatan, and then we can buy all the rum we want.
I like it. I like it.
The
If y'all
plan.
do- if y'all don't know, I know a lot of people here are like all coming from all around the world, but if you don't know, like Mexico is such a freaking awesome place to vacation. It's
Yeah,
so
dude.
nice. They're like just stay away from the border region where all the cartels are and you'll have a blast. Um Also like don't go to Cancun. Sorry, Cancun tourist industry, but like there's so many like incredible areas like that aren't like hyper touristic. It's like it's one of my favorite places in the world.
I like going to Progreso in the Yucatan.
I've never been.
Yeah, it's really good. But anyway, cheers, mates.
Yeah, cheers. Yusuf, you want to grab screen real quick and walk us through our second juke position?
Very cool. Let me just do that. Great.
Iris, are you from Colombia? We got somebody in here shouting out Colombia as a top destination.
Okay, so first of all, there are two people that have asked questions in the Q&A section, right? We'll get to them after we've made all our positions today. Then we'll try to answer all of them precisely and yeah. So I'm sharing my screen right now. All right, cool. So the ranges that I would choose for the larger bin step pool would be, yeah, it would simply be from current price to 90, right? And this is assuming we'll have a run up. I'll do a bid ask position. I just think Jupiter will pump, so that's my reasoning.
Everyone go buy Jupiter after this event so that we can have a correct hypothesis. Thank you.
Right.
Not serious. But if you know any billionaires, just ask them to buy a couple milli worth.
Yeah.
Right. Call all your whale friends.
Yeah, that's really the key to being wealthy is just knowing other really, really wealthy people. That's like the best first step.
Actually, you know what? I want to take a moment because someone asked about difference between curve, bid ask, and spot. And while we don't necessarily want to go knee deep into that, it's a basic concept here. But I'll go ahead and do my promo. Um, these are great things that you can learn in our boot camp sessions. Our next boot camp session is coming up September 21st and 22nd. It's going to be, and these times are in UTC, so translate that into whatever time zone it is for you. It's going to be from 11 a.m. UTC to 1 p.m. UTC. And the reason for that timing is because we've been doing most of these, they've been more focused on North America. So we're going to show some love to our Asia and Eastern European folks. But everything is recorded live on YouTube and Twitter. So you have a week to go in there and watch the sessions, the recordings, do all the tasks, fill out the forms, get you boot camp trainee and LP Army roles, and you get a lot of knowledge. We've got some great instructors. I've been completely redoing the entire boot camp. Super excited and stoked for this. So come join us, come learn, and that is uh my promo.
Yeah, how many guys do we have, or guys and gals do we have in boot camp so far, or how many graduates have we had so far?
How many graduates? Let's see. It's over 1,200, I can tell you that.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
We're growing the LP army, the Meteora LP army.
Yeah. Tell your friends.
Yusuf, do you want to walk me through which pool to open up for our GPSTC?
Yeah, choose the the 80 bins that 50% 0.15% pool. So the one with most liquidity.
And what range do you want?
Okay, cool. So from current price all the way up to, that's actually perfect. So if you go into the pool, I think you can share your screen now.
Okay.
All right, cool. So if you put all your, yeah, that's actually perfect. Just move the to the current price. That's a good range, and you can do a bid ask position on that.
Nice. So for those who are like intermediate and beginner like DLM members, this is just essentially a way to automatically sell your tokens over time at a price range that you decide upon. And the best thing is that because it's like super unlikely that we just go straight from here up to 0.90, there's going to be like price fluctuation. The whole time that price is fluctuating in this range, you're just going to earn fees. And so that's like icing on the cake. One thing that I kind of like doing with higher risk meme coins is I can do a range like this, and then the fees that I generate end up getting turned into my moon bag, quote unquote. And so ideally I exit my position having like closed with a profit in Sol, but then I can keep some of those fees in the meme as like a moon bag. And if the token really, really pumps, then you get like an extra bonus.
Yeah, and there's also actually a very important difference here between essentially DCAing yourself out or in to a specific token using DLMM compared to, say, the Jupiter tool, because they also have a DCA function, right? And that is your, like, so Meteora essentially allows you to put or to use a more sophisticated strategy. You can essentially sell more of your tokens at higher price points. Yeah, so there are many benefits to DCAing yourself out token or into a token using Meteora and using the DLMM technology compared to simply making a DCA position on Jupiter, for instance.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, now I don't even like sell my coins the normal way unless it's like some kind of emergency. I much rather set up a DLMM just a little bit higher so that way I get sold out, earn fees, earn Meteora. It just makes sense at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to get you guys' opinion on work. This is one that I've been watching for a while, and it seems like, in my honest opinion, it seems like it's something that's going to stay around and we'll probably see another pump. It has like an actual project behind it, and we're at a good price point right now. But I want to get you guys' opinion on both kind of like price action and then also like how we could LP this. So like we see two big moves, like the first one up to, let's see, in market cap, I think it's around 3 million. Yeah, we went to 2.5 and then once again to 2.5. And then for the last 3 days, we've been in this range. And so we have two tests of this support level. And Hamdi, I'll kind of like defer to you a little bit because I think your TA is probably going to be better than mine is. But what do you think about this position? And do you think it's something we could like open? The only thing that I don't like is we have really, really low volume.
Yeah, so
Excuse me, hacker. I called you Handy.
Yeah, let's take a look. Hang on. Works list. I have such a habit to like just instantly go to the LP instead of the chart.
The one,
And you,
one go ahead.
what's
One thing I saw on the LP is that we have a little bubble where there's low volatility that we, excuse me, low liquidity that we could try and capture.
so with this one, the cool thing is that this one only has 17K in the work/soul pool. And in general, there isn't really that much liquidity. And if you're saying that this is like a legit project, it's not like a meme thing fully, then that 2% pool sounds juicy. I mean, unless there's like some kind of event happening or something, I wouldn't even look for the gaps. It's low enough liquidity where if you can put like 5K or something into there, you'll still have a good share of that price action. Especially if they start announcing stuff and volatility starts occurring, like you'll get a lot of that order flow. So I wouldn't even look for gaps in this one. I would just try to spread it apart best I can.
I kind of like, so the way I have it set up right now is a 30-30. And so we have a really wide cushion in case the price dumps. And then what I'd kind of do in here is do a spot on our soul and a bid ask on our top range. I'm going to go 35% on the bottom. And this is actually spreading our range out so large. So here's like, this is our all-time bottom, 500K. And then we have a kind of a support range here.
yeah, okay. So I think you could. I actually think it would be interesting for you, Hayden, to try and explain your thesis around work, because this is very much like, other than it being a position we're making on Meteora DLMM, it's also like an investment into work as a project. So
Yeah.
perhaps you could try and explain why you think price would go up, because
So
like, yeah.
the only reason I think price will go up, well, there's two reasons. One is I'll pull up their socials because they have pretty good engagement on social, but essentially it's just a gig platform. I haven't actually read their white paper or anything or tokenomics, but what you're going to be able to do if you can't do it now is you can pay for gigs and work, and I'm assuming you'll probably get a discount. But like, there's like Upwork and Fiverr are such large and prominent projects that if like that's essentially that's all they're doing here. I'll pull up their website too. It's kind of nice. They don't have a huge amount of volume in terms of like the people doing gigs, but it's a way that anyone can post a gig and then people can go there and compete for the opportunity to do the gigs. So like one thing that I like is that they have like high engagement on their posts. And this obviously like you can bot this kind of stuff, but yeah, anytime. One thing that I'd like to see is more posts on their Twitter, but like
Me
anytime you
too.
see
Yeah.
like multiple thousands in terms of the views, like that's like a decently strong thing.
Yeah, but like so I'll be the critical guy, okay? They haven't, tweeted for the last 3 days. I know that, in and by itself, it is not, it's not crazy for a project not to make a tweet for 3 days. But considering the fact that it is a new project, like it just recently launched, I think it's weird, at least to me, not seeing it
More
making
activity.
What?
That they're not posting as much on Twitter?
Yeah, especially because it's a new project. If it's, you know, the official Solana account or something like that, you know, that doesn't matter. But for a new project, you need to be active on Twitter because it means everything.
I agree. I'm looking at their Discord right now.
Yeah, that's also a very good metric, a very good thing to look at.
Yusuf, do you think we should not LP this?
So, um, I haven't looked at the project itself, but
I could be wrong.
if what you're saying is true, right? Like if it's actually like if it's a project that looks like Fiverr or Upwork or some of those working platforms where you can find people that offer different services, I think that's bullish. That's pretty cool. That's nice to see within Web3. But whether if they have a working product and whether if they actually have users, that's another question.
They have a working product. If you saw on their like little landing page, it shows the amount of gigs that have gone through.
Okay, interesting. Maybe we can take a look at the project actually too.
We're giving a free shout out to work right now.
For-
All right.
For things like that, whenever it's like projects that like I believe in or I feel like at some point they're gonna catch some sort of volatility, I like to just open up a 5% pool and kind of like set my liquidity a little higher or even some little bit of bids lower because I don't know, I feel like at some point those R bots are gonna hit my price and it's gonna go through either way. And worst case scenario, I either have sold to the bottom or I have the token itself to the upside.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can see here most of their gigs are essentially promoting their project. But I think it's cool because like I love the gig work notion, that whole kind of like meta, and just having like the ability to easily create gigs and get tasks done is something that I think is pretty sweet. But we have a pretty small bag in here. Um, I'm just gonna go ahead. I already bought it some. If the price dumps, then I'll go ahead and close it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a spot position underneath with our soul. I don't see it dumping that far. It could, but I'm assuming it won't. And then I'm just gonna do a bid ask on top with the work that we bought, hoping that we get a nice pump, and then we can essentially DCA out as the project increases in value.
Mm. Yeah. So let's hope that this one pumps, right? We want work to
Yeah,
or actually you know, both ways should be good because we've also made some we're allocated some liquidity to the downside. So yeah. So how much worth of SOL did you buy?
I bought 20 soul and I did 15 soul underneath.
Okay, so we actually wanted to pump.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge amount. And if we
That's
go
true, yeah.
down 20%, then I'll just close it as a stop loss.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, I think normally we almost always have the goal of tokens increasing in price. Um,
Yeah.
all right, so I think that's it for the coins that we were looking at. I know we had discussed FWOG. Maybe we take a look at that chart and at the various LP positions. But otherwise, I think what we should do, yeah, let's take a look at FWOG real quick, and then we can kind of go to the next segment where we have some community discussion and engagement. Maybe we
Yeah.
see if there's like a meme that's launched recently that's doing good volume.
Yeah, I think we could make a position on either Frog or W dog.
Oh, W dog.
Yeah.
Yusuf,
I
do
like
you want
both.
to set up a W dog play?
To be honest, yes, but I think, well, like,
Let's go for
but
it.
in terms of the risk to reward ratio, I think Frog is a safer play simply because it has a high market cap, right? But usually that doesn't really, yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, I think in terms of community and engagement, I'll go with W dog.
I get so nervous LPing a chart formation like this because in my experience, like almost always when you see a big pump like this, you see range trading down. And it's the exception where you see range trading holding and then pricing up. Obviously, like FWOG has been performing really well recently, but it makes me really nervous to LP it because we have such like because you could easily see you could easily see like a 75% decrease in price in a few weeks. But let's start with W Dog. Yusuf, do you want to grab screen and put together a position?
Let me do that. All right, so I'm sharing my screen right now on WDoc. And this is the main radium pool that we're looking at right now. So this is the pool that launched as this coin here bonded through Pump Fund. Yeah, so right now I'm on the 15-minute chart. WDoc has generally been a very strong coin over the last month or so. Yeah, it's been like a very strong coin. It's been ranging very beautifully between these two prices here. Honestly, it deserves a breakout. And that's why I'd rather want to LP this coin here than FWOG Frog. Because Frog has already pumped, right? And I think this one deserves a similar pump as well, right?
It's also super organic, is from what I've like seen.
Absolutely, yeah. They have good engagement, healthy engagement. They have many very like important KOLs, or I wouldn't say important, but they have many KOLs. They have many people tweeting about it regularly, as to my timeline at least. That's what I'm usually seeing on my Twitter. But cool. Let's take a look at what positions out what we should do. Okay. So I think we should make a position that relies on the fact or the assumption that Solana will go up in price, okay? Because that's what we've been assuming today. I think we could also allocate some liquidity to the downside, but we should probably put most of our liquidity in WDOC to the upside, in my
You're
opinion.
hyper bullish on W Dog.
Yeah, and just
like it.
expecting a pump in Solana, to be honest. That's why I'm bullish. Yeah, but yeah, let me take a look at, let me put some light on the screen.
I definitely like adding a little bit liquidity underneath so that essentially it's like DCAing into our position. If price goes down a bit further, we can take it and we can add it to our bag, which we'd sell to the upside.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So looks like this line here represents a pretty nice support area. It did break once, then it went down again, and then it's been like testing the price. It went down again recently. This was just yesterday actually, so or 2 days ago. So yeah, and I believe this is like 20 million in market cap. So yeah, so I think
we opened a W Dog position like 2 weeks ago. We should have just held it all the way through.
Yeah, to be honest, for real, that one would have generated a lot of fees. But yeah, I think what we could do would be to make a spot buy like this. If we look at this price here, it's almost at the 50% compared to the bottom support that WDoc has, right? it's approximately at 50%. This means that if price goes, I mean, there's various amount of theories around price action and markets in general, right? But there is one exact theory that says if you have like two ranges, if you have a support and a resistance area, and you put a line between those ranges, if price goes below that 50% range, that means it's usually a good buying opportunity, right? And therefore, I do think that we could make a spot buy here to 50%, maybe put some extra sold to the downside, probably around this price here, or down to this price here in case it dumps. Yeah, so first of all, how much sold do we have to play with right now, Hayden, for this specific position?
We have 140 left, and I have already done I already bought 40 soul worth of W dog. I used my executive powers to go ahead and snipe that before, so that we don't get stream sniped.
All right, perfect. Okay, cool. So I do think that we could put all that 40 soul of W dog and actually just leave it. Yeah, let's look at the pools there are right now for W dog.
So one thing that I've been thinking about or I read recently is like before you see a really big breakout, usually you see capitulation to the downside. And the reason that those two events have correlation is because say a coin is holding at a good range and then you get a big price dump. What that's doing is it's creating a super attractive buying opportunity. And it's the attractiveness of that buying opportunity and the corresponding volume that comes after it, which creates the market conditions for a breakout. Because if you just have like a normal price, like right now, W Dogs, like it honestly, I think it's a good buy, but it's not exemplary. And so you just see normal price action and normal buying here. Whereas if price dumps like 10 or 15%, then it's a very attractive buy. And so you get a huge influx of volume, or theoretically you do. And that big influx of volume brings it back to our current price range. But now the chart shows a plus 15% with a bunch of volume. And so now that's creating the market conditions for people to essentially like YOLO or FOMO into it, which would cause the subsequent breakout.
So I think we can make two positions with this one, right? We can make a one-sided W dog and just take it past this resistance area that W dog has had. We can perhaps take it up all the way to 0.8186, maybe 19.
You want to go that high?
What?
Being optimistic today.
Yeah, I think we can do a spot, like literally just a spot position from current price all the way to 185. I think that's a pretty, because like I think if price breaks this resistance area or if it goes close to it, I think price will actually break it, right? And it will in turn it will turn into a support area again if price breaks this resistance area. So I think we can just take or go above it, go far above it. I think that's a good idea. I'm not sure about what you guys think.
So we can open that position. What I want to do is I want to do more of our capital in this current range from current price up to our most recent high, because even if we do see a breakout, we're going to see price hitting this range, and there's going to be a sell-off when we get to that high. We might see the breakout following, but usually what happens in these instances is you'll hit that high, you'll see a sell-off and a new a higher low, and then the breakout's going to come. So I'd like to keep a lot of our capital in that range so we have our fee generation. And then if we do see a freaking like massive green dildo, we still have both the fees that we've generated and that kind of like moon bag available to sell at that higher price point.
Yeah.
If you're so bullish, what I would say is we put like maybe 80% of our capital in this range that you define now, and we put 20% in that top range, because if you think price is going to go there, and if it does go there, then we might as well sell all of it from that like 0.15 to 0.20 range.
You've already got the position open, you could just drop it up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think we could also just do a bid ask strategy. If we want to use these two ranges here. depends on what you guys think.
All right, I'm gonna grab screen back from you, and we're gonna go ahead and let's take a look at what liquidity is showing.
Yeah, just do the 80 bin step and 1% pool.
Hey, quick question, Bob. We are an hour and a half in. Are we doing, is this a 2 hour or a 3 hour session today?
It's a hybrid session. It's however long people want to hang out. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this W Dog, and then we'll see if there's some people in chat that want to come on and do a little bit of community engagement.
Okay.
We'll probably I'm guessing we'll probably run to like 2:15, 2:30.
Yeah, and as we're opening this position into WDoc, we will be sharing a link to a form in the Zoom chat as well, okay? So you guys can just submit your ideas to the questions there are in the form. We'll collect all the data and use it to hopefully improve the jam sessions.
Thank you, Yusuf, for putting that together. So yeah, guys, the goal with the forum now is just to get more feedback so we can have a good idea of what people want to learn in these sessions and what people like and what they don't like. So I'm gonna do half spot, half bid ask, because I do see like almost always when you see a breakout, there's some range trading preceding that. So that gives us a good amount of liquidity in this range, so we can do some. I did 124.
All right, man, I'm not drinking for $1.81. You gotta do better than that.
I'm sorry, Heavy. We're trying our best here.
You're just trying to get me drunk. Take advantage of me.
And then I'm going to do the remainder in our bid ask. And so, Yusuf, I kept 20% of our capital and W Dog. Do you want to give me? We're doing essentially 1520 is that top range, correct?
154. So you said?
Yeah, I wanted to add another bit of our W Dog or the last bit in that top range in case price really pumps. Can you give me those numbers?
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and do give a drink shout out, adding liquidity. I'm
Okay,
gonna
so
add a little liquidity to me. Salute.
to be honest, Hayden, we could instead just do like a tighter position around that resistance area. Say like 10 bins, right? We will just distribute that 20% liquidity across 10 bins that will cover the resistance area. So that's like 154, right? You can just put like 10 bins around that range.
Oh, you want to do really tight, okay. So tell me your numbers, please.
Just move the that thing. I don't know what you call it in English. Just move the dot. Yeah, that one. Just leave it there and no, wait. Let me see. Yeah, do okay. So do. That's fine. That's really good. Yeah, that's a very good range.
And then I want to add a little bit of soul underneath in case we see some downward price action. And so I think I'll probably do like, let's look at our chart again. So this is a really good resistance area because I want to move our chart because we're showing a strong exit. So we see a big move down and then within, this is on the hourly chart, but we also see a really clean exit from this area. So this is probably where we would see a bottom if it keeps moving downwards. And that's
Yeah.
at,
So I agree. Around like 9.6. Yeah, that's actually perfect. Yeah, I do agree.
15%.
What?
I was just saying it's 15% down in price.
Yeah. Let's hope price doesn't,
It's fine if there's short-term volatility as long as
Go a little wider on the support side, but that's just me.
where would you go, Hacker?
Just a little bit wider, a little bit more lower towards your a little bit below where you were saying that you think it's going to bounce at. So just maybe like 5-10% below that. So I'd probably go wider. I've been trading W Dog for like a while now, so I'm just kind of like used to the price action on it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to 22. So I was thinking doing half spot, half bid ask on our downside. What do you guys think about that?
Okay. Instead, I think we should wait, let me we could, I'm not sure if you guys would agree to this, okay, but we could actually just, move the dot to the place or to the area where there isn't much liquidity related to the current area.
I like it. Do you want to go all the way down here, Yusuf?
That would be interesting. I think we could take it all the way up to 10. Just put it like at 10. I think that's a fine yeah, that's fine. Just put it there.
So
Yeah, I
we're
like
aggregated.
What?
We're hyper aggregated in that lower section.
Yeah.
This is such a different session than last week's. Actor, you've been great it's been great having you on here.
Absolutely.
More
Yeah,
liquidity, more drinking.
anytime call me on.
Cheers, mates. Hey, well, Hackerman, I want to just piggyback on what he's saying there. Do appreciate what you've brought to the table today, and mods. We've decided to grant you the role of LP Army. This is an honor that we grant to people. It's not something you can just go fill out a form and earn. So I would like to welcome you to the LP Army. Role has been added in the Discord. Thank you very much for your participation and your help and your wisdom today.
Dude, thank you very much. I'm honored. I appreciate it a lot.
Let's go.
Let's
Thank
go.
you,
Welcome
LFG guys. Hell, I'll toast that. Fuck it. There
welcome
we
to
go. It's for you,
LP
Hacker
Army.
Man.
All right, so now we're gonna kind of like open up the chat audience. If there's anything that you think we should take a look at, drop it in chat. And if there's anyone who wants to come up on stage for a little bit and kind of either share some alpha or just have like a little discussion session, you're welcome to raise your hand. If you do want to be a panelist, just drop a comment in chat saying what you want to talk about. Sometimes people just raise their hand for whatever reason. And so we want to have people who are actually like trying to be productive and add value.
Yeah, we can also go through some questions in the Q&A section.
Oh, we
Because
got
there-
Ishak. We got
What?
Ishak here who wants to share his thesis on Billy. I'm gonna go
Oh
ahead
yeah,
and
cool. Yeah, he did actually make a comment in the chat in the beginning where he asked about Billy, and I asked him if he wanted to share the his thesis around it. But yeah, you can just invite him up as a panelist. He has raised his, okay, no, he hasn't anymore.
I promoted him. He's a panelist.
Okay, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, sure. My bad.
The floor is
Perfect.
yours. Ishak, also, if you can, go ahead and share your screen and pull up the Billy chart. We can have you walk us through what you think.
Oh, sorry, I'm actually I joined Zoom on mobile and I view that screen on my PC. So maybe you can just pull up the chat on your own end.
I got you.
All right, thank you.
Ishak, you're on the Discord, yeah?
Yeah, I'm on Meteora Discord.
Just shows Ishak. All right, I'm gonna make an executive call here because you were on last week, yeah?
Yeah, I was.
All right. Well, welcome to the LP Army, sir.
Look at that. 2 new members.
All right, thank you. That's
2
an
new
honor,
members.
sir.
Lovely.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Ishak.
Okay.
Yo,
Do
shout out,
I have to give you my Discord ID?
I already got you.
shout out to everyone. Our goal for the
All
end
right.
of the year is to have
All right.
10K members in the LP Army. So call your friends, call your wife, call your neighbors, get everybody in here because we're gonna be LPing the whole market by the end of the year.
Exactly.
All right, Ishak, the
Okay,
floor
so
is
are you
yours.
guys ready? Can I start with
Yeah,
Billy?
it's all you. I'm gonna step away for a second, use the bathroom.
Yeah, just you can just go ahead, Ishak. If you need like any specific lines on the chart, etc., that won't be possible because he has shared his screen right now. But you can just try to like make your thesis or present it with the current screen. Oh, looks like Ishak is not a panelist anymore. Okay. What happened, Ishak? Could you
I don't
make
know.
a,
I don't
yeah,
know what
maybe
happened.
what?
I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, maybe he can make a comment in the Zoom chat because he's not a panelist anymore.
He might have had to. He might be having an internet problem.
True.
Hopefully he comes back.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, hey guys, I'm sorry to do this. I'm supposed to be working, so I'm going
Okay,
to dip.
Oh,
okay, so
Ishak.
sorry guys, I actually lost connection a bit.
There you
Yeah,
are.
no problem, no problem. See you, heavy metal. By
Okay,
the way.
Yeah, you guys rock on, man. Be good.
Thank you.
all right.
Bye-bye.
So Billy is a token that it's. Are you guys getting me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you right now.
So Billy is a dog token that actually did wonders as of late. That's a month or 2 months ago on Solana. It's a coin we know. It's a token that ran all the way from pump.fun all the way to $20 million market cap, consolidated there for a few weeks, then had another leg up to 80 million, 100 million, all the way to $200 million market cap. That was quite insane, and it has generated a lot of attention on the Solana community. So, the way the market goes, whatever pumps must like one day will actually retrace and consolidate. So it has consolidated for a while now, I think for the past 1 month. As far as I'm concerned from the chart, it looks like Billy has bottomed at around $15 million market cap.
Mm.
And Billy is a community token, so there is no dev that holds any kind of supply. Before getting on this call, I had to pull up bubble maps just to look at the token distribution, if there are any kind of whales holding large supply, and I did. From what I'm seeing, the Radium is holding 4% of the supply, then Get.io, and then Get.io holding 3%, then the third wallet is holding 3%. So as from my own experience, if I don't see any whale holding as much as 5% of a supply of a coin, of a token, I don't see any cause for alarm. That's
Like,
one. So
yeah.
going back to the chart, I've observed Billy for the past few days since it bottomed at $17 million market cap. It has been going back up with the help of some calls on Solana pushing it. And then I think what also instigated this revival is because of what Nero on Ethereum did, the OG, the Cabal Nero, the one that it went all the way to around $200 million market cap. It came down to 30 million, and then it started pumping again. Before you know it, it got attention of Binance. So I'm expecting the same kind of scenario to play out here on Billy, and that's why I think there is no much risk LPing into Billy. In the last 24 hours, the token has only gone up 30%. And if you look at the charts, in the last 1 hour, it has generated $251,000 in volume. So, and I think that's a good opportunity to capture some fees. If you look at the 15-minute chart, you realize that the token has pumped, the highest it has pumped was $28 million market cap. So we are kind of LPing at the top of the reversal. And then at this point, I'm going to suggest going in with 70, being conservative, going in with 70% sold in case there is a retracement that we can catch. And then we spot buy 30% of Billy. expecting, which I'm highly optimistic that we see more upside if Solana actually behaves. As you can see across board, Solana tokens are actually coming back up.
Yeah,
So this is my thesis. If we're helping into, okay,
yeah.
What do
So
you think?
are you getting me?
Go ahead, Yusuf.
yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. Very interesting thesis. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually also looking at Billy. I've been looking at it for the past month or so because, as you said, it was a very big coin at one point in time. It went to like 200 million in market cap. It has since went like retraced 80% or something like that in market value. So that could possibly, offer you a good opportunity because if if it would retrace back up again, that would mean a significant increase in price, right? I think the only like I was actually thinking about it yesterday. I was looking at the chart for Billy, was curious about it, and was thinking maybe we could make a position for tomorrow's session. But I then came to the conclusion that WDoc looked very similar in terms of both volume and
Yeah, yeah.
market cap.
I think we should open a position here. To me, the chart looks great. I know I've seen some FUD on Twitter about Billy, but the chart, like this is like the perfect kind of like reversal trend that you want to see. You see a bottom, a retest, and then a new higher low. My only like qualm is that we're currently at a new high, but Ishak, you made a good point to be conservative and put the majority of our liquidity underneath.
Yeah.
I want to allocate 20 SOL to this. Uh, I want to use Eshak. I want to use your trade strategy of 70% underneath. I like this as the bottom end of our range. And then I would say put our top range here, which is our most recent high. And that would give us, I think it's around 20% decrease. Yeah, 25% under and 45% above. What do you guys think?
Good idea. To be honest, like it's not essentially a bad idea. I think the only
What is your concern?
no, I don't have any concern actually. I think the only thing is that it's chart like in terms of volume and also how like prices has been doing over the past week or so generally looks a bit like the W dog. So I think, and they're also both dogs, right? Right. That's right. So I really feel like they are kind of similar. And we've already made a position in W dog. We could make a position in Billy, to be honest. I think, yeah, and we could then maybe we should go 80% to the downside and 20% to the upside.
Gonna do 80 underneath. I think that's
Yeah.
smart too. Yusuf, do you think that Billy and W Dog are competing for market share?
To be honest, yes, I
Hmm.
really do.
And you think W Dog's the winner here?
Okay, so there is, I think, the only thing that could make WDoc win this race, right against Billy, is the fact that it doesn't look like a rock. If like Billy, if we go on a high time frame, say 4 hour
It
or the
looks like
day,
a
right?
rug.
Yeah, Billy looks like a rock. It's just kind of crazy how like the price action looks very crazy, right?
Yeah.
And that's usually a that's not good. That's very negative for a coin. If we compare that to WDoc, WDoc has a way healthier chart. Looks way better to my eyes at least. And that's probably my reasoning for why I think WDoc could win over Billy.
I hear you. I think that's like a really valid point. I think that like this sell off is so nasty. I do want to open up. We can do a small position. Maybe we size it down a little bit. I like the main reason I want to open is because they got to give Ishak props for coming up here and sharing his ideas. So like the the number one like purpose of these sessions is learning, education, and improving our skills. So even though like last week we took a big L, we still, at least I know I learned a lot from it. Hopefully everyone else learned from it. And so I want to open a small position here at the very least, just to kind of like reward Ishak for like having the courage to come up here and share his ideas. Like we usually we have like 1,000 people watching these each week, if not more, if you're counting the people who watch it after the fact. And so that's great to have someone who's just like coming up here and sharing his ideas. And so, Yusuf, you're also bringing up really good points, and I think we need to keep that in mind. There are,
I think we could do like 10 soul to the downside and then put 2 soul to the upside. I think that would be a reasonable position. Or 3 soul to the upside. I don't know.
so there are KOLs who are saying Billy is like producing a retrace, and this chart pattern does happen. So like, but you also have to keep in mind that these are probably also KOLs who hold big bags, and they're trying to convince the rest of the market to
And it
pump
has
their own
already
bags.
pumped. And the thing is,
So
those posts were like 10 hours ago or 5 hours ago. And if you look at the chart, it has already pumped, quite much
Yeah.
actually. If we go 5 hour, you can just go to your chart actually.
See where it was at 10 hours ago
Yeah,
before those posts occurred.
exactly.
Yeah, so we see maybe the thesis is to play off of that, expecting a retrace. I
Mm,
don't
yeah,
I don't think Billy, it's definitely not going to hard rug. Like there's too many people holding it for that to be possible. It doesn't mean it can't like soft rug and go to zero, which many of these coins will. But maybe we put, I think we could even do 100% of our capital underneath. I think like up only is the least likely hypothesis. Most likely we see range trading. We should respect the recent price action that shows uptrend, and this is like a reversal formation. So we should respect that until like the market shows us otherwise. What do you all think about just doing all of our liquidity
100%, dude.
underneath?
100%. I think that's the safest strategy. And usually like last week we definitely messed up because we went a bit
Yeah.
right. I think like in case say Billy goes down 15%, right, or 10% over the next 2 hours. If we make like if you put 100% to the downside in a mix between spot and bid ask, we wouldn't be down much. I think we'd be break even, considering the fees that we'll be making as price goes down. So in terms of safety, in terms of if we want to preserve our funds, going 100% downside, maybe mixing it like doing a bid ask and spot would probably be the best idea.
Ishak, are you okay with that?
yeah. So I think that's okay, but if I may add something,
Sure.
I am also of the belief that Rap Dog and Billy, one of sharing market share. It's like kind of all those PvP plays that happen on Solana and other Ethereum layer 2 chains. So from what I've seen in the past, when there is a PvP play, you have a winner. And when you have that winner, before the stage at which everybody will be convinced that this is the winner, then the other token will also get kind of a market share based on people that miss out on the main player will also want to take advantage of the other one that hasn't actually pumped. In my own opinion, I feel like one of these two, either Rapdog or Billy, has to go to $100 million market cap. It's not a matter of if it's when, as well. That's how optimistic, and that's how I play. That's how I see it playing
I
out.
like the
But
confidence.
that's why I'm just suggesting. I think going 100% underneath is not the perfect strategy. Maybe go 90% or 80%. I don't, in case it comes. And I feel like we might be entering into a bullish week. Today is Monday. And I've looked at BTC's chart, and I feel like there is kind of some upside
To be
there.
honest,
So maybe 10%.
yeah, I agree. I just wanted to say one thing, right? Solana has actually pumped a bit, which has led to Jupiter pumping, a bit. I think it's pumped like 2% over the last hour or so. And you're right, Ishak. Like there is a sentiment going on right now.
So
To the like on Okay, I'm just going to leave one thing. You're right, Ishak, because I do think that Bitcoin and Solana will pump as well, during these next few days. And if it does, if Solana pumps, if Bitcoin pumps, there's a very highly likelihood that Billy will just follow Solana, right? Because that's what most coins do. You can just
Yeah.
finish Hayden.
So one thing that I don't think is going to happen is just up only. And so while
No.
buying
It's
here
not gonna.
might not be bad, the trade that I like better is buying the next bottom. And so even though we might enter at a higher price point, we could also end up getting a better price point. So what I'd like to do is allocate some of our capital to this sole position underneath. And then we
Yeah.
have a remainder that we spot buy once we see the next bottom. Because people, in the same way that we see this move up and then consolidation, this upward move will have a culmination. It will end eventually, and then we'll see another consolidation phase. And so that's what I
Yeah.
like, just because as equally likely as it is that we go up from here, we could also go down from here, and this is our short-term high. And so that's what I'd like to do for our spot entry. And then we allocate 10 or 15 SOL underneath and just to get some fee generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense actually.
Someone said there's a W dog and Billy pool.
What was that you said?
Someone said in the Zoom chat that there's a W dog and Billy pool.
Uh-oh, we got to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ever
those
do
kind of pools. Okay.
What?
Do you guys ever do
Yeah, we
5?
should.
Wait. What did you say, Ishak?
Yeah, we should check that pool actually. I've tried that kind of pool before. It's do give insane amount of this thing, especially when there's a serious PvP at work.
The meme to meme pools.
Yeah. What did you say, Hacker Man Ace? Because I heard your mic.
Yeah, I
open.
was curious if you guys do any of the 5% pools, or do you guys normally just kind of stick with what's kind of available or where the TVL is?
Yeah.
I do use the 5% pools, but only normally on like more recent meme points where you see the higher volatility.
I agree.
I'd love to hear your opinion, Hack, because I found that with the 5%, if you don't have enough volatility, you miss out on a lot of volume. And so like I really like the 2% pools for more mature coins and the 5% for newer ones, but really curious to hear what you think.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something like, let's say it's sub 250K TVL overall in DLMMs, and there's a majority of it in like the 1% or maybe even like the 2%. I personally like to open up the 5% in case there is any kind of excessive order flow or there is some kind of volatility. I mean, obviously you can tell when there's a token that has like absolutely zero volatility, but lately in the markets, I'm still able to get away with majority of my pools. I would say like 90% of my DLMMs are all 5%. It's very rare, even right now, that I'm getting into a 1% or 2%. It's always higher. I might not get the volume all the time, but the fees make up for it, especially if somebody's in the chart and they're aping like 15, 20K. There is a part of that order flow that ends up going into my area. And even more if I'm like, again, localizing my liquidity rather than spreading it apart across bins. But it only worked with things sub 250K TVL. When you get to like stuff, well, in the DLMM portion, like the whole AMMs can have millions, that's fine. But as far as like DLMMs go, I try to find strategies with things sub like 250K within multiple different ones. So it could be 1, 2, whatever it is. But opening up a 5 on top of that definitely gets me enough volume.
How do
Yeah.
you choose micro caps like that? Because for me, it seems like a lot of times those are obviously they're super high risk, high reward. But I'm curious how you go about choosing one.
Well, I'm not. Well, I think I might have not said it right. I'm not looking for like the micro caps. Like, so there'll be like the AMM liquidity, which is on the radium side. That's one portion of it. So it can have like 1 mil, 2 mil. That's fine. But then I also noticed that whenever people open up DLMMs on it, sometimes there's not that much TVL on it. If we pick something like Jupiter or something like that, that'll have a lot of TVL over on the like the 1%, 2% pool. But then let's say if we're picking something like Billy might not have like that millions of dollars on that DLMM side. They'll have a lot of dollars inside the AMM, but on DLMMs, there's not that much. So if there's not that much on the DLMM side, since in my opinion, DLMMs are more efficient than AMMs, you're going to get that order flow one way or the other once that ARB becomes valid. So I guess for me, it's just a matter of like the ARBs going through once the price gets out of a certain price point from your pool versus the other pools.
I hear you. Yeah. I think one of these weeks, what we need to do is we need to run some tests and set up identical pools with the 2% and the 5%, and just let the data show. What do you guys think about adding a little bit to this W Dog Billy pool? It's doing
I think that's actually a good idea.
Yeah. It's such a silly trade, dog for dog.
Yeah, we could just do it for fun, to be honest. Because okay, so we could actually, yeah. So we're assuming W dog will go up in price, right?
Well, we're assuming both will go up, essentially.
No,
That's
no,
what
in
our
terms of
trades.
our,
We do think
what?
Billy. We think Billy. I don't know. We're hoping both go up eventually.
Yeah, of course, but like in terms of the positions we've made right now, I think like we're assuming that W dog will go up in price more than Billy, at least short term, and that means this ratio here will go down in price, right? So essentially we'd be expecting the price to go down between W dog and Billy.
So this is showing this is so confusing to me. It's the price of Billy relative to W Dog, I believe.
You can see, try and go into the bird eye. You can see the ratio, okay, so it's W dog over Billy. If W dog goes up in price and Billy stays constant, the price will go up. If the opposite happens, the price will go down, the ratio will go down, right? And what we think is that W dog will go up in price and Billy will go, I mean, it won't go as much up in price as W dog will. So we could make a position where we buy some Billy and we put it to the upside for W dog. So essentially we'd be selling. Wait, man.
Don't we want to see? I think we want to buy W Dog and sell it for Billy as price appreciates.
Exactly.
All right, let's try it.
Okay, what did I
We'll
say?
You said it. I think you said the reverse.
Yeah, my bad.
That's okay. All right, we're just gonna do this a little experimental. We're gonna do 10 sold. Actually, okay, we'll do 20. This will be interesting to see what happens. All right, so chat, we're gonna start wrapping it up here. If you guys have any questions, drop it down in chat. I'm actually just gonna go down to 10 here. That's what my gut says to do. And we've never done any of these LPs before, so we'll keep it a little bit safer.
I'll answer some questions in the Q&A section. Okay, cool. Yeah, so someone said so someone asked, what is the difference between liquidity and market volatility? So liquidity is just money, right? It's just money that is, and when we talk about with free markets, we're talking about some people putting money across a price range. And that is usually what we mean by liquidity, right? There is some money across a price range between two tokens. Market volatility in return means that price goes up and down very fast. I'm having difficulty understanding impermanent loss. Okay. So someone is having difficulties in understanding impermanent loss. We actually have a very good definition that we use during the bootcamp sessions, right? That is, you need to, so when you make a position, right, it will consist of a USD value. There will be like, if you say you make say you deposit 20 SOL into a SOL USDT pool, you'll be depositing a value in an amount of value in USD, and that would be 20 SOL multiplied with the price of SOL. That could be 3K, right? So what you want to do is that you want to subtract the amount that you're withdrawing with the amount that you deposited to figure out whether if you got positive impermanent loss or negative permanent loss for your position. That is what the definition of impermanent loss is, right? You're withdrawing something that has either more value or less value compared to USD against USD compared to your initial deposit. I hope that was a fine definition. You can also attend the bootcamp sessions. We go through that in depth. Yeah. Then someone asked, how does liquidity impact investment decisions? So if there is, say we have a pool, right? If there is a lot of liquidity in it, right? This is just a general rule. If there's a lot of liquidity in it, this will mean that price will not be very volatile, right? You cannot expect price to go up 20% in like one buy, or it will take time for it to go up 20%. This means that the more this converts into a general rule that says the more liquidity a token has, so the more liquidity there is associated with all the pools related to a specific token, means that it is safer, right? It is safer. This is just a general rule. There are definitely exceptions to this rule, but in general, the more liquidity a token has, the safer it is. And therefore, it will impact your investment decision. For instance, Jupiter, all Jupiter markets have a lot of liquidity in it. And I haven't calculated it, but I believe there's, maybe like 100 million or 200 million USD. And that makes Jupiter a safer investment compared to a meme coin that only has 500K of liquidity associated with it. Yeah. Someone asked, can liquidity vary across markets? And yes, they can. There for you can make, if we use Meteora DLMM, if we use the Meteora DLMM technology, right, you can make all types of pools related to a specific token address, and you will usually find out that there are different pools for a specific token address on Meteora. They all have different TVLs, so they all have different amount of liquidity. Yeah, if you want more information on that, I think you should attend the bootcamp sessions. So someone asked, are we dropping another form to submit our wallet address? If you did not follow the beginning of the session or somewhere in the session, we also mentioned it last session, we've changed the way of how we reward attendees, right? So we will not be making submissions where people can just submit their wallet and expect a payout for simply submitting their wallet to a form if we get any profits. We've changed that to our attendees needing to provide some benefits to the LP Jam sessions in the form of either becoming a panelist, talking with us, or in the form of explaining your thesis on a specific token, etc.
The goal here is like increasing engagement and also increasing the audience activity, because again, what we're trying to do with these LP jams is get people thinking more and thinking critically about how to LP and how to LP better. And so that's why we've made the shift. And so if you want to earn yourself an allocation, and please don't try and like farm this, because I know like some people are about that, and no judgment here. I've farmed airdrops myself as well. But like the best thing that you can do is be active in chat here. But also most importantly, once we do write-ups in the Meteora community, go there and just debate why you think this is a good idea or a bad idea. It's not a right or a wrong thing. We just want to increase the engagement in that Meteora community. And we want you all thinking strategically about why these are good or bad ideas so that you improve your own DLMMing skills.
Absolutely.
Our overall goal with the LP Jam and the LP Army is to train and teach a bunch of people how to DLMM better. And so from Meteora's perspective, like they want as many people allocating liquidity to their application as possible. And so the way that we do that is first and foremost, we educate people about Meteora's existence. Secondly, we teach them how to DLMM properly. Because if everyone shows up and you're just like losing money with DLMMs, no one's going to do this continuously. But if we can show on a regular basis that it's easy to earn passive income or pseudo passive income with DLMMs, then we're going to make it so much more enticing for other people and hopefully like big ETH whales or big meme coin traders to enter into the DLMM space. So that's what we're hoping to incentivize.
Yeah, 100%. Someone also asked, what is the best amount of liquidity to invest for a trade? I'd suggest you to join the bootcamp sessions because we talk a lot about that there. Between bid ask and spot, which is more safer for DLMMing? I would recommend you to join the bootcamp sessions as well because we go into we go into that topic there, and you'll learn a lot about the different strategies you can use and all that. Yeah.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. Before we finish everything up, let's just go through our portfolio
Yeah,
and
let's do that.
we'll
Let's
see how
check
things are
out
going
your
so far.
Yeah.
I took a peek. It seems like honestly, like it so now we're planning on holding these positions for a longer period of time. And so if we can do like 3 to 5% per day on our positions, but if you compound it over 5 days, then that's like a 20 to 30% gain, which would be freaking sicko mode. And maybe we get some really good price action with the market kind of like giving us the what we're hoping for and everything goes up. So this is our Soul Juice. Honestly, this is not bad. Look at that 1.5% per day. This is the really tight range one. That's sweet. I mean, if you can earn 1.5% per day, let's look at that. Let's ask Twitter. I recently bit the bullet and I got paid Twitter. So what is 1.5% per day compounded daily over a year? It's gonna be like 1,000%. Bro, I just want the answer. I don't need all this math. Bro, Cab, this is so incorrect. Oh my God.
Yeah, just multiplied with like how many days there were in a year.
So I think it's 1 times 1.01 to the 365, I think is the correct answer for calculation. So yeah, if you're doing 1.5% a day and you're compounding it, that's like essentially like 230% annual interest, which is incredible, especially if like you're bullish on Jupe and Soul and those like what if like those 5x during that period and then you have an extra 200% of interest on top. So that's sweet. That's like a super low key position and it's doing really well right now. But
Yeah,
that's one that you need to really monitor because we could easily get out of this price range.
exactly. Like we cannot expect price to stay within the price range that we've allocated liquidity into for a year. I think
Yeah,
just yeah, just giving a rough guess. I think price will go out of range within a few hours, to be honest. But
yeah, but that's okay because like if you're bullish both on Dupe and Soul, then what you can do is you could like if your price goes out of a range, you could use a DLMM to split your bag again and then reallocate to your wider range.
yeah,
So Soul W Dog's doing great, 4% a day. Again, if we do this for 5 days in a row, we could do like a 20%, not including any gains we get from token appreciation.
yeah,
Gigasol, I checked this a second ago. So this is like a little like this was probably my mistake in setting up our pool, but we have this one bin both on the top and the bottom that we have no liquidity in, and this is where our price is like just chilling at right now. So
yeah.
nothing here yet. That's okay. Work. So work is printing really well, 11.5% a day. We've dipped a little further down into our lower range, but that's okay. Hopefully we continue to move down and then up and out of our range. That would be sweet. If we can get 10% a day on this over multiple days, then that'll be a great position.
Absolutely.
We got Billy Soul. This is the Oh no, this is so maybe Ishak, maybe you were right on point with calling to add into our Billy position on top. Because currently we're out of range because we don't have any Billy on top. But it's okay. It's not making money is better than losing money. But yeah,
Did
we're
you,
gonna go ahead, Yusuf.
did you make the Billy W dog position?
We have that one too.
Okay, so try and look if we've received any volume
I will.
there.
I will. So this one, I just want to note, if we see a dip down, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of Billy and then add it into our position. We'll probably need to open a separate position for that. We've got W Dog Billy over here, crushing it with the 2% per day. It'll be interesting to see how this one performs.
Yeah.
And lastly, we got a little bit of Jupe USDC. I don't know how we have oh, this was like our 20% allocation, I think. I have no clue why there's so little liquidity in this one. This was our DCA. I'm gonna increase this a little bit because I actually like that trade.
Yeah.
The people should know by now that Jupe is gonna go to like $10 eventually. I feel like that's so like on at least like $5 like when the market peaks. And so yeah, if you don't have a bag and if you're not like participating in votes, why are you even in the crypto space?
Yeah, especially the Solana ecosystem, right? If you're deeply into the Solana trenches or just in the ecosystem in general, like Jupiter is just it's just a must, right? You must hold Jupiter because
Yeah.
if you believe in Solana, you believe in Jupiter, right?
So still 3 more seasons of airdrops.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
I'm looking forward to it, to be honest.
Yes.
But like, I really hope they want because I haven't really been participating in their votes. So if they give some type of benefits to people that have only voted, that'll be
Why
that'll
have you
not.
not been voting? You said it takes like 5 minutes.
I know, but I've not actually been like I've not been participating within the Jupiter community. I do hold Jupiter, like I do have a bag in it, right? But I haven't really,
Are you staking?
no, I'm actually just holding a spot.
Oh my God, dude, you have to stake. Like they give away like it's the annual staking rewards. Last time they gave out like 25% of the bag. Like, gosh, like don't go buy humongous amounts of Jupiters because you're gonna dilute my ASR rewards. But like if you stake Jupiter, the last ASR distribution, they gave away 25% of your holdings. So like
Okay, okay.
that's just like free Jupe.
Yeah.
If you're bullish on Jupe and if you're holding spot, you might as well stake it unless you're like
To
actively trading.
be honest,
That's
yeah.
that's my alpha for the day.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it after the session, hopefully.
All right, that's it for today. Later on, I'm going to do a write-up of all these positions. Yusuf, I might ask you to help out with a few of them because we have like 10 different positions that we've taken
Oh
today.
God.
I can get it done. But so again, if y'all are trying to earn engagement, go hang out in the Twitter Meteora community. We're going to do a write-up of each of these positions, and then your job is just to debate. So please don't be hesitant if you don't think you're smart enough or skilled enough, because all ideas are just going to pose more opportunity for discussion. So go ahead and share your ideas there. Go ahead and debate whether you think our ideas are good or bad. And then what we're going to do is once we close these positions in profits, we're just going to tally up people's engagement and we'll contact you either on Twitter or that's why we asked you to add your Twitter handle in the forum so we can see who's engaging and then we can reach out to you on Discord as well. But thanks so much for everyone joining today. And that's it for this LP Jam. See you next week.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Yeah,
Have a
thank
good
you so
night.
much for showing, Hacker Man. Showing up.
No, one.